The title of our project is Matt Carpenter on base percentage due to hits. In baseball, the batter's purpose is to get on base. Their first option would obviously be to hit the ball. However, along with hitting the ball, each player has the possibility of getting hit by a pitch or being walked. All of these factors play into each player's on-base percentage. We would like to know what proportion of Major League Baseball player Matt Carpenter's on-base percentage is made from hitting the ball to get on base rather than by error. Therefore, our research question is, how many times did MLB player Matt Carpenter make it on base by actually hitting the ball within the month of July in 2018? We chose the month of July because he had a large amount of at-bats, which resulted in a larger sample size for our tests. For our references, we used the website baseballreferences.com to find Matt Carpenter's stats for our tests. We also used rossmanchance.com to run our tests.
Okay. So I did the first two tests of significance, the one proportion and the theory-based test. So I started out on our baseballreference.com, and we're on Matt Carpenter's page, and we can see here these are all the months of his 2018 season. So we went ahead and we chose toward the middle of his season in July, and we can see that he had 93 times at bat in July. And of that 93 times, .333 is his batting average. That's how many times he actually hit the ball. And his on-base percentage is .447. So the total amount that he actually made it onto the base during his at-bats. So if we come over here, I've compiled this. So his on-base percentage is .447. That means 44.7% of his total at-bats, which is 93, he actually made it on base. So that's 41.6, or basically 42 times he made it on base of those 93 at-bats. And his batting average is 33.3% of his total at-bats. And so that means that 30.97, basically 31 times of his total at-bats, he actually hit the ball and made it on base. So we want to know if his .447 of his, we want to know of his .447 OBP if 50% or more is from actually hitting the ball. So on this one proportion test, we can see the probability of heads is 0.5. We have the total number of tosses is actually his OBP, so it's the 41. And then I went ahead and I did 1,000 repetitions. And then in here, I put his total times hitting the ball, which is 30.97. And 0 out of 1,000 repetitions actually doesn't even show on the null distribution. It's clear out here. The red line is clear out at the right-hand side of the null distribution. So we can see that if the null hypothesis was correct, his number of times hitting the ball doesn't even exist. And so then we did a theory-based test, and we see here again, the sample is the 41 times, 42 basically, 41.6 times he made it on base. The count is 30.97. So over here, we went ahead and we did a test of significance, and you can see that our alternative hypothesis is that his total number of times hitting the bat is going to be greater than 50%. And we have our null hypothesis, our p-value, as 0.0005. So at this point, before our 95% confidence interval, we have very strong evidence supporting the null hypothesis.
From our theory-based test, we received a p-value of 0.0005, which is very close to 0. Finally, we computed a 95% confidence interval of 0.6238 to 0.8869. Because our p-value lies outside of the 95% confidence interval, we can reject the null hypothesis. All of our tests prove that Matt Carpenter got on base more by hitting the ball rather than by error.